dance to techno.
The owner of this car described the fault in vivid detail, and the mechanic could not remain indifferent. He agreed to help. Engine power loss, diagnosis. Problem: intermittent loss of engine power, regardless of driving mode or other factors. At the same time, power may return after the revs drop or after the engine is switched off. The simplest way to find the fault is through scanner diagnostics. After scanning the ECU, 3 fault codes were found: EGR system, coolant heater, and turbo boost. Based on the initial diagnostics, the mechanic assumed that the data from the air mass and air pressure sensors needed to be analyzed. However, the scanner could not read the live data correctly. Using his knowledge and experience, the mechanic identified 7 possible causes of the fault. To access the sensors and systems, the protective covers must be removed. Get a gift from the mechanic and buy parts at a discount. No EGR, 1 possible cause ruled out. In turbocharged diesel cars, there is no vacuum in the manifold, so a vacuum pump is used to create a vacuum. The turbo and EGR are vacuum controlled. Vacuum is also required for the brake servo. Leaky connections and perished lines are the main sources of vacuum leaks. To check the vacuum level in the vacuum system, we connect a vacuum gauge in line with the hose. Subscribe to the channel. The pump creates a vacuum in the range of 0.6 to 0.9 bar, which is normal. Conclusion: the vacuum system is working correctly and no significant leaks have been found. A common problem on turbocharged engines is intake leaks. They are indicated by oil misting and a whistling sound while the engine is running. The mechanic suspects unmetered exhaust gas being drawn in at the turbo inlet. If there is a leak, the smoke is drawn into the hose, but in our case, everything is fine. During further inspection of the intake tract, the mechanic was once again reminded of the importance of timely vehicle servicing. As with the vacuum system, the main leak points are the joints and connections. Almost no leaks were found during the inspection. Only minor leaks were found on the intercooler, and they have little effect on engine operation. The next check, MAF and MAP sensors. The intermittent nature of the fault indirectly suggests that they are working, but incorrect operation cannot be ruled out. As a preventive measure, the sensors should be cleaned using specialist products. Over time, the intake tract becomes coated with carbon deposits, which can prevent the MAP sensor from working correctly. In our case, no critical contamination was found, but we carried out a preventive clean anyway. After cleaning the sensors, we check whether the symptoms have changed. The mechanic has a bad feeling about this. The revs and speed build up sluggishly. It feels as if there is no boost. The search continues. The owner noted that, on cold start, the lift pump sometimes doesn't run. There's no characteristic buzz. So we check whether the pump is delivering the specified pressure. The problem is not the pump. It produces the required 0.3 to 0.5 bar. If the pump is working correctly, there may be several reasons for the turbo's incorrect operation. One of them is the boost pressure converter. It should close the inlet channel when the ignition is switched off. In our case, the converter does not hold vacuum at all. The filter mesh through which outside air enters may also become blocked. The converter resistance is within the permitted range, 14 to 17 ohms. Checking the operation of the new component. As we can see, the vacuum is held. The suspect has been found, but to get the full picture, we need to check the turbo. An oily turbo housing may indicate a fault, but in our case, the failure will not be confirmed. The mechanic noticed an elegant well seam. Apart from the EGR, something else is missing here. There is no heavy contamination, excess oil, or scoring from the impeller on the cold side of the turbo, so the turbo is fine. On the hot side, there is a natural velvety layer of soot. No signs of excessive fuel or oil burning were found. One possible cause of incorrect boost is coking of the turbo geometry. Wear and contamination of the variable geometry mechanism can cause it to seize. In addition, no axial play was found, and the radial play is within permissible limits. Its presence is due to the design of the journal bearing, where the shaft is centered by an oil wedge. Let's check the turbo actuator. It should hold vacuum. When the vacuum is released, the rod should move smoothly and return to its original position in one motion. Worn vacuum lines must be replaced. Checking the car's operation after replacing the converter. Acceleration has improved noticeably. We continue testing the car in different modes. It looks as though the problem has been solved. After returning to the garage, oil was found in the vacuum reservoir, which caused the converter solenoid to become blocked. Any ideas about the original cause of the fault? Share your thoughts in the comments.